I'm not so sure it was something that we had done, but that there was a global pandemic happening. We had a little bit of help, I guess, is the point I'm trying to make. Since most of our classes were remote at the time, and we had actually switched to Ultra right in the middle of the pandemic, a little bit even early in the pandemic, going to ultra-based navigation in the fall of 2020, it was right at the beginning. So we had a little help, I have to admit. The fates were smiling upon us as far as that was concerned. But in addition to that, we used some of the resources that Blackboard had available at the time, and since then they have been increased tenfold. At the time, there was an instructor orientation and a student orientation available, and we borrowed what was created and, of course, massaged it into our own likeness. And so we took that instructor course and we turned it into an interactive course. Much like Lori was mentioning a moment ago, we created sandboxes for all of our faculty. As a matter of fact, we created 3 for every single faculty member to make sure that if they wanted to transition multiple courses and see how they functioned, we know each discipline designs their courses differently, and we wanted to give them at least some opportunity to be able to do that. So we did create additional feed files that were able to create these sandboxes for these faculty members. And then our instructor orientation actually involved assignments where they needed to go out to those sandboxes and do some work. And so they were getting involved along the way. So not only learning what was available, but here's what you need to do to make this a hands-on experience. As a part of all of that, we just before we built all of these pieces out, that was kind of phase 2, we did bring together a very small group of faculty that we called our CTE ambassadors, so our Center for Teaching Excellence ambassadors, and we had one from each college that could then go out and take a presentation we prepared for them. But they also went through, I think it was 6 or 8 hours of training to be able to go out and spread the word and encourage their colleagues to be able to join in this endeavor. And we really didn't want them to be blindsided when the change happened. We wanted them to get in and access it early. So our instructor orientation, of course, we did on Ultra. All of the CTE ambassador training we did on Ultra. We did it all at a distance with all of those folks being in as students, so they got the student experience, which is usually the piece that is missed by faculty. And so we wanted to encourage that engagement with each of the different roles that you could be in a course. And by giving them that practice, they had a better idea of when they were designing what it would look like at the other end when the students then got engaged. And we did that a semester in advance of offering the training, the instructor orientation. And our instructor orientation, we tried to release it in small bites. And so we released one module at a time on a weekly basis. During a little bit more of a downtime of the semester. It was right after midterms, but not near finals necessarily. We tried to keep it right in the middle of the semester after the big grading periods were over. And then we released the first few pieces. Here are the basics. Here's how you get in and use the ultra-based navigation. Here's how you design your courses and assignments and whatnot. And we saved some of the deeper and more integrated tools for the next semester and repeated the same act again the next semester. So we actually did that over a year and then allowed pilots during the summer before we went full ultra the next fall.